Well, so Elseworlds Part 3 has concluded, and it concludes this year's crossover event with the CW superhero shows. So we had The Flash, and then Arrow, and now Supergirl. And the first two were so-so. The first one was probably the best, and then you get to the one in the kind of a bad rollout of Batwoman. It's just kind of very disappointing. I was kind of pulling for her. I mean, especially since the actress was treated so badly by activists who said she wasn't gay enough. Hey, go figure, you know. Yeah, there were some scenes that was pretty cool, but the rest of it, the line seemed forced and just really cheesy, and it just didn't hold up. So that's not a good debut if they're planning for a TV series. I hope they up the game a lot better than what we saw in there. Then we come to Supergirl to conclude this, and the villain, Dr. Deegan, has rewritten reality yet again with the Book of Destiny, and has made himself Superman. And you can tell which one's which because he's in black. So he confronts Barry and Oliver, who are now the Trigger Twins, some super criminals, whatever. And in order to fool him, Oliver shoots at a crane to make it collapse on some people so that evil Superman will go save them while they make good on their escape. I mean, and they toss a line where it says, "Don't worry, Barry, it was never really going to hurt anybody." For some reason, evil Superman couldn't figure that out. And they're just assuming that evil Superman would do anything. I mean, he's evil, so he says, hey, tough luck for them, huh? It works, so they get away. And they meet with the Monitor, and we've got to find the right warriors to take on the threat that's coming, blah, blah, blah. And so they seek out Cisco and realize, he must be a criminal in this version. So, it's a good thing he is, because they probably never would have found him. So, of course, he is. Now, the scenes in the performances between the actors playing these characters, Oliver and Barry and Cisco works very well. They're good at their characters, and those parts were enjoyable. But that's about it. So they go get him to open the door back to Earth 38, where Superman, the real Superman, is, to go get his help. And they say, well, hey, where's Supergirl? And he says, well, we don't know. Well, it turns out in the rewritten reality, she's trapped in the prison at Star Labs in Central City. And so it's Supergirl's show, so of course we got to get some Supergirl storyline. So, hey, what's going on with Supergirl's world? Well, we decided let's have another scene where Alex comes out of the closet. It took them 3 episodes for her to do that. I mean, doing it over and over and over again after they retroactively made her gay, when in the first season it's clear that there was some sort of romance blossoming between her and Maxwell Lord. But we need to virtue signal and representation of what they could have brought a character in. But no, could have made her bisexual. Could have done that with her and who was it? Sawyer at the time. But whatever. Just another reminder of how bad the writing and cheap that Supergirl became after a pretty good first season. But anyway, so that's what they do for Supergirl. So she's got to convince her sister that she's really good and Superman's wrong and all this stuff. So, okay, you're right. So she lets her go and they escape. And the evil Superman confronts him and is getting ready to kill him. And then suddenly, Cisco brings in the real Superman, and then they duke it out. And then Barry and Oliver have to deal. Well, mostly Oliver has to deal with Superman's goons, and or evil Superman's goons. Boy, it gets confusing. And then so Alex has to put the beat down on Barry to show how badass she is. Badass. You're always hearing badass. So, and of course he's like, ow, and then Supergirl has to tell her, no, he's one of the good guys and all that stuff. So Superman had mentioned that he had encountered the Book of Destiny before and knew how to read it. So they had to find it, and it was in the secret time vault at Star Labs, and they get it. Supergirl couldn't do it, which I'm surprised they actually let her not be able to do something. And she gets it over to Superman, and he's able to read it to rewrite the world and make it right. So, and basically what he does is he puts Barry in his Flash costume, Oliver in his Green Arrow suit, and Supergirl in her because she didn't have her costume up until this point. and so that fixed something. And so Barry has his powers back and all that stuff. And the evil Superman gets the book back, and he's rewriting the world, and oh no, it's in danger. And then Barry and Supergirl figure, for whatever reason, we need to slow the Earth's time down to, stop him. So they do, but unfortunately, this means they'll both die because the effort to do so would kill them. And so Superman had seen this in the book, and he tells them this. He says, "No, you can't do that. You'll die." And they're like, we got to do it. So they go off, and Superman's just like, that's too bad. He just stands there like a buffalo log, and I don't know what to do. I don't know. And then Green Arrow, I know what to do. Of course. I'm going to shoot an arrow. Now, he tells Superman, get that book. I've got a plan. So his plan is to go back to this door where they happened to stumble into the Monitor's dimension because he wanted them to. And he starts crying out for the Monitor, face me, you son of a bitch. And it works. Oh, of course. So he talks to them, and he tells them that Barry and Kara are the best of the best, and they're the ones you want, and you can't let them go, and all that stuff. And then he tells them, yes, but there will be a sacrifice. Well, we don't know what that is. At first I thought, Arrow would have to die or something, but no. So maybe they'll save that for a later story. And there will be a later one. I'll get to that in a bit. But Superman and Black Evil Superman, or Deegan Superman, fight. And for the fight's okay for television, it's as good as they can get it. But it's pretty lackluster considering the cosmic importance of the plot. But of course it works. Barry and Kara are able to slow down the Earth, and then Lois and Martian Manhunter and Brainiac 5 from the future, they show up, and we're gonna do some help. And evil Superman brings back Amazo, so Brainiac's gonna take on Amazo and flies away with him, and that's that. Then Martian Manhunter, I'll protect the civilians. And then Superman saves Lois, who gets hit by a blast of whatever. And and Lois brought what appeared to be the hammer of Thor. I don't know. But I guess that's, if you watch Supergirl, you know what that's about, I guess. I don't know. So she uses it, but it really doesn't do a whole lot. It shakes the ground, and then she gets knocked around. And then Superman has to catch her, and he does, and that's about all he really does. And then the book, Oliver shows up at the last minute and shoots an arrow at the book, which, boy, that's all he had to do. And it explodes in Deegan's face, and then he turns back into Deegan, and then at first I thought it had killed him, but all it does is turn his face into an ugly spook face, all gray and granite looking, or something. And then he ends up locked up at Arkham, and Batwoman makes a cameo appearance and says, I don't know, he's making some friends, because you locked him up in a cell next to the Psycho Pirate. Now, Psycho Pirate, of course, played a pivotal role in the Crisis on Infinite Earth story that was told in the comics. And this scene was sort of similar with how it ended, where he was the only one who remembered how the universe used to be, and he was locked in an asylum. So, yeah, that's a nice little nod, and for the DC fans and all that, and that's great. And it gave a tease and said next year they will do Crisis on Infinite Earth. So, I'm guessing that's gonna jumpstart the story that ultimately ends with the Flash vanishing. I don't know. Maybe they'll rewrite Destiny, and it won't turn out the way it was meant to. and they'll save Barry. Or they're going to shut down the Flash show and replace it with Batwoman or Superman, what have you. But here, Superman just looks really pathetic, and if this was supposed to be a debut or a send-off in the hopes for a Superman series, which is apparently in serious talks to be done, this was a bad one to do because, he's kind of just useless and stumbles around and is kind of an idiot. And then Lois has to cut him down, and again with the misandry and sexist remarks, and tell Supergirl, you're way better than him because women are just better, and all that sort of thing. So this was bad. So 1.5 stars. That's about it. It's really disappointing. Because they had some good moments in the other two. But it was just a slow deterioration over 3 episodes. So that's too bad. But we'll be back to The Flash, I guess next week or whenever. I don't know if they're taking a hiatus. Probably will. I don't keep up with that stuff. But we'll get back to The Flash at some point. Which is still really the only good show they've got when it comes to these CW shows. And that's just too bad. All right, thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe? Please do. And check out the link description below. That'll take you to my many stores that have plenty of goodies for you.